Hello, so this is Ashit Mukunda again. So in this homework 9 part 2, it was about modifying the HPS plus FPGA system. So basically we just had to modify the system so that the 7 segment display over here on the board will display a running counter generated by HPS, which counts seconds, minutes and hours. So every 1 second until 60 seconds, so that then it wraps to the minutes, and then again after every 60 minutes it wraps to an hour, and then which in turn wraps around when 24 is reached. So again it starts from 0. So it's basically like displaying a clock on the LED display, on the 7-segment display. So I'll just turn on the board. So as you can see in the quarters, I've opened the programmer, and then if you look at this, you can see that we have added few more PIO LEDs, and then we have named it. So I have named it PIO X0, PIO X1, X2, X3 until X5. So I have basically allocated the address of 10 width for each of the 6 PIO X0 to 5. So as you can see, we are logging into the Linux terminal. So then we'll just give some commands. So and then we'll also go inside the command directory for the media USB. And we also restore the files that are present inside the pen drive. So we'll just be looking at the part 2 of this. So let me just get it ready for the execution. So we are ready for the execution, and then let me just open the programmer. As you can see, it is still not programmed, so we'll just enter here, and then we'll just start the program. So it starts counting in. So once we start executing using the Linux terminal, the counter or the timer inside the board starts ticking in. So we'll just click on this, and then we'll start. So it's already like 3 or 4 seconds. So 5, 6, 7. So if you just look at this, so until this turns to 60, once it is turned to 60, then this gets incremented by 1, and then so on. And then when this turns into 60, so this increments by 1. So and then these things parallelly run. And then when this increments till 24, where it will be 2400, then everything starts in from 0 again. So basically this is like a clock. So this was what was needed to be done for the part 2, where I did assign 6 PIO LEDs IOs. So and each of the IOs was having a width of 10. And then if you just look at this, once it goes 60, the 1 minute as incremented, and that's it. So this was for part 2, and then we also had to report the FPGA resources. So if you just look at the resources, just let me show the screenshots that I've taken. So we'll just get an idea on how much FPGA stuffs have been utilized. So this was for the platform designer, and this was for the part 1. So my maximum frequency for the SoC thing was 1184 megahertz, and then for the clock for 50, so that was 90.53, and the Altera thing was for 55.86, And then coming to the utilization, for ALMs it was 2203, and then for ALUTs it was 3384, and then IOs being 368, and then memory blocks being 68, and then block memory bits being 526336, and then DSPs being 0, and then rest of the things being the same. So this is just the summary on that. So for the part 2, so this is what changed. So if you just look at the clock, it has become 1184.83, and then the clock for 50 thing was reduced from 90, being from 90 to 87. And then if you just look at the fitter summary, you can just look at that ALMs have increased, and then total registers have increased, but pins being the same, obviously, because the IOs are same. We have not changed anything. And then memory memory bits have been the same, and then RAM being 68 again, DSP 0. So if you just look at the ALUTs, again it has increased to 4694. So these were the usages. And we also had to look at the software sizing. So coming to the software sizing, so going into homework 9. So part 1, in this, the make file or the executable file size was around 15 KB. For the exact number, it is 26,848. And then for part 2, so this thing was around 15,172. So again, I'm going to add a screenshot using the SoC EDS command shell, where I'll just get the software program size. And then as you can see while we were looking at the screenshots and stuff, so the clock has been ticking, and then so now it will be somewhere around 5 minutes. So this was the homework 9 overall. So thank you.